Heyo, this is Let's Write Tonight. I was goofing around on YouTube and I actually found a writers group that's doing literally exactly what this channel is all about. So I wanted to check them out and see what they're up to. Cool. Pick a role. Oh lord. Can I have more than one role? Yes, I can. I have an idea for a horror story, and because of that, I'm going to use horror. What's all this sound? Oh, their timer went off? You're muted, dude.
I'm muted. And we are back. Shannon, it looks like you and me are the only ones who survived that sprint. Oh man, were you able to get any work done that time?
Yeah, I found some like ripped paper on
How long did these
Pixabay, and
guys
so I
write?
put that over my Sea Witch illustration that I had done. And then I thought, oh, I really love this if this was my map on top of the Sea Witch and it was ripped to show the part that I want to show. So I'm using the template of the ripped paper to rip through my map right now. So
Oh, that's kind of cool. So is it that you're is, what is the map for exactly that you're doing?
the map is a map of my the continent where the main series takes place.
Okay, and is this like a physical product that you're creating, or is the map itself already created, or?
Yeah, so the map was created, was illustrated by a creator I found a couple years ago. it takes me a long time to do things. So, and I'm a discovery writer, so I only knew what was in the north of my map. I knew the names of different places, but I didn't know what was going to be in different places. So I said to him, I said, "Hey, can I come back later and give you like the rest of the stuff on the map once I get to those areas?" And he was like, "Yeah." So I went to go find him, and he was gone. So I had to do it.
Wow, that's kind of cool though. That's actually really cool. Sounds like you're at least enjoying the process though
Yeah,
of developing this map.
I like. I always say if I was a writer, I'd be an artist. So,
Mhm.
I like doing artsy stuff. I told you I created the dragon that's on my book cover.
Yeah. I know when I looked at your Kickstarter, one of the funniest thing, I mean, not fun, there's like something ironic about it was like there's partially down, and you give the readers like you can buy the option that the illustrator designed, or you can buy
Oh
my
yeah,
option, which I like more.
yeah. So yeah, that was
That's
my one book cover that I used AI with just to make
Mhm.
a like a mock-up template for what I was going to use, and I really liked it. So for a while, I
It's
thought
so funny how
this could use
random
mine, and then like
this
a
is,
month, and then I was
stumbling
like, you
on
know
this
what? I
group.
used AI in it. People are not going to like AI. Let me just
Mhm.
hire a company, and they created one that was almost like mine.
Mhm.
It was like almost a pretty close version of it, and I'm like, well, I still like mine better. So
What is so? Do you end up creating all of the all of like the artwork or all of like the initial designs for a lot of the things that you're launching with the Kickstarter, or do you get concepts from artists?
um, So I think the only thing I really created, so my map I hand drew. I had
Okay.
that done a long time ago. So I gave
Mhm.
that to the
I hired
artists
artists for
who
my cover.
illustrated it. Um, for my book covers, I always made a mock-up and gave it to my cover designer. So
Interesting.
yeah, but I think that's it. The rest of them I just make image briefs.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, that's interesting. I know for my cover design for Scarecrow, I think I gave them a list of what I envisioned it being, and then let them run with it after that.
yeah. I think when my first book cover in this series, I also pulled book covers that were popular in my series, ones that I liked because I had this idea of what my female should look like on the cover.
Hmm.
That's this one
Oh,
here. So oop, you can't see it.
yep,
So
yep. There we go.
she starts off like she's the one that gets beat by her mom, right?
Hmm.
So she's beaten down. She's being made fun of all the time because she's different looking. She's got blue skin and whatnot, and so she doesn't have like a whole lot of confidence when she first starts, but
Hmm.
by the end you find out that she's actually one of the most powerful creatures on the planet. But
Oh
um
wow.
she
Okay.
just she her magic was being suppressed, and so she becomes powerful. So I had found a couple different images of females. I was like, I want her to look powerful, but in
Hmm.
such a way that it's like, yeah, come a little bit closer, think you can trust me, and then you're gonna learn. So that was kind of, and I said that in my write up to the, because I always do a cover brief,
Hmm.
image brief. And so I said, I want her to look powerful without being powerful. Like you could approach her
Hmm.
and you wouldn't know that secretly she's actually very powerful.
Are you pretty happy with all the covers you've gotten for all of your books?
Uh, yeah. I
Ooh,
mean, okay.
careful.
So this
Hmm.
was, I had hired a company,
Hmm.
hated it, got my money back.
Oh no.
I hired an illustrator. They never
Hmm.
responded, got my money back. Hired another illustrator who actually illustrated a book for me a few years ago, when a book for I never published, but I got the book cover made, and that book I
Hmm.
even got edited, and I've never published it. But so I got in touch with him. I was like, hey, can you do this for me? And he was like, yeah. And then he gave me like a sketch design on the day the cover was due to me. And I'm like, he's like, I need a little extra time, like 2 weeks. 2 weeks went by, he still didn't have anything more. And so,
Wow.
and then I waited 2 more weeks, and I contacted him, nothing. So I got my money back. So now I was like within weeks of my Kickstarter happening.
Hmm.
Okay, not weeks. So
Oh
this was
my
like
god.
March, and my Kickstarter is happening in June. And I was like, I
Hmm.
still don't have a book cover. And so
I
in
don't
weeks,
know
I'm
if a
submitting
Kickstarter
book
for a book
covers.
is a good idea.
And I don't know if you know Inka York. She's in the
Yep.
author
Yep. Yep.
community.
Yeah, I've seen her around.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so her cover designer does all of her book covers. So
Hmm.
she was like, "Hey, my designer is really good. She can do you probably really quick. Just talk to her."
Hmm.
And so that's who I use. And
Okay.
Jacqueline's sweet. Yeah,
It sounds like you've gone through quite a range of freelance artists,
yeah.
both
Trying to find something.
great and not so great over time.
So
Any
with this, I didn't like the dragon, but because I
mhm.
was like running out of time, I was just
What's
like,
wrong with
I'll
the
take it.
dragon?
I'll
Okay.
take it. So when and overall, people love the overall cover, but this is not what I thought my dragon would look like. So
Okay.
when it came to the second book cover, now the second book cover
Mhm.
has been done for a long time.
Mhm.
Because it took me forever to get this book done.
Mhm.
It's like just over 2 years, I think, altogether. But so I knew this time I was like, I'm gonna be picky about the dragon, and she put
Mhm.
so many different dragons in there, and I didn't like any of them, not a single one of them. And I was like, look, hey, I do not know how to do things from scratch in a design program. I can take pictures and do things with them, but I don't know how to
Mhm.
do things from scratch. But I can draw my dragon. Would you
Mm.
take the time to try to figure out if I can do this dragon myself? And she was like, yeah, it took me 5
This is
months
my
to figure out
cover,
how the design. I use GIMP, which I've used for
and I
years.
think it's unique.
They
I like it.
poor man's version of Adobe.
I think that
Mhm.
And so I drew my dragon by hand
it's
first,
not
and then I got
100%,
into
but just the fact that the artist had like
the
this
design
really
program, and I worked
unique
on that thing for
like
5 months.
coin
Finally, I got
detail,
what I wanted, and
micro
I have
details.
a copy of the cover right now.
I kind of like the style. Like the more I look
I
at it,
know.
I
So
actually
having
like it a
gone
lot.
through
So
quite a range, any key learnings for any writers in the
Give
community to
yourself
find
time.
freelancers?
Give
Huh?
yourself time. Give yourself time, especially if you're really wanting like something specific for your cover.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like most of the dragons that are out there. And my cover designer, she's against using AI, which I'm AI positive, but yeah, I understand for making my covers, I'd
AI
rather not
positive.
use AI because a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people don't really like that. And of course, that also gives that work to those people that she's getting. And she's not an illustrator; she's just a graphic
Mm-hmm.
designer, which means that she can manipulate pictures to get.
Mm-hmm.
So all of the females on my covers, they're actually faces from real models. She has me go
Interesting.
to stock whatever, some stock photo site
Okay. Oh, so
where
that's actually interesting. What a clever way to do design. I like that.
yeah. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know where she got the dress from, but I know where she got the face from because I chose
Mm-hmm.
it. She had me choose the faces for both my book covers.
Mm-hmm.
For my Irish trilogy, I
Mm-hmm.
hired out. It was actually my girlfriend from college. Her artist was an illustrator with
Okay.
watercolors, and
Mm-hmm.
did all of her book covers. They're gorgeous, and she did mine,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't like it, but I was going with it. And then for my second book, because I had my second book, I was pretty much done with my second book before I published my first. And I made my cover for my second book in the series for a placeholder on the NaNoWriMo website at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked my cover better. So I made my Blood of the Lily cover. And I was just starting YouTube about this time. So I didn't think of like showing my process. But for Tears of the Marigold,
Mm-hmm.
that's the last book, I actually have a video on my YouTube channel showing how I made it.
Oh,
It's
that's
a
kind of cool, actually.
yeah.
Wow, that's actually really really cool.
So
I like.
cool. All right. We got work to do. Oh. All right. Wrapping up this outline. Act 2. Shadows of Lordaeron arrive on their wagon. Killingfield meets Dia outside. She tells him the High Council's looking for him. Sahara's delaying. I kind of have a jarring scene transition right here. So the shadows arrive. Killingfield hops off the wagon and meets his Dark Ranger, who's there to tell him that the High Council wants to speak to him, and that his second in command, Sahoro, is delaying the High Council, giving him time. And then the scene transitions to Sahoro deliberately delaying the High Council. So it's almost like a, if you were watching this as a movie, it's kind of like a funny transition. And then right back to reality. I'm trying to think of a good example. It's almost like Ocean's 11, where the scene would transition to something that they were talking about, and it captures the intent, like their plan, and it's capturing their plan in action while they're still talking about it, and it's funny or at least entertaining. Well, it's sort of like that perspective. Let's see. So these are like completely different scenes. They might even be different chapters. Oh, what? He's got a cooler table than I do. Desk in a box. That's awesome. Those pillows are not awesome. What are these guys even talking about? Your guys' little chat is distracting. Ugh. All right. Right. Okay, so yesterday I was working on Act 3 for Part 1, and the entire Act 3 is Sal'journ working with the Shadows to rescue Aralana from her sister in Silvermoon. And they do that by blackmailing the Alderon. Not the Alderon, Alderon. Who is a blood elf who is addicted to mana and who is going through withdrawal. He's basically like a crack addict, but for mana in the game, which is magic. And they're referred to as the Wretched. And so this kind of ties in the lore of what's going on in the game too, so that's cool. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I've got Arlana's rescue scene fleshed out. Now I need to flesh out their return voyage, during which the Ebon Blade arrived to kill or capture Saljourn. And maybe just one member of the Ebon Blade. So her trying to kill Sal doesn't make much sense until later in the story, when it's revealed during Sal's prosecution or trial or whatever, his betrayal actually, that he's the reason that she is forsaken. While he was Scourge, he was the guy who actually killed and raised her. So she's not justified in what she's doing, but the audience is like, oh. There's always, it seems like in these writing groups, there's always like someone just has to make it about their occult Wiccan lifestyle. I don't know where that comes from. It's like, bro, we're just here to write. Like, what you do in the woods on your own time is your business. Just don't cast any spells on me. They just gotta share. Such a shame. All right. They free Arollana. They're on their way back. This is a scene I haven't even thought about at all in any amount. So I got to think about this for a second. Well, I would say the ship probably isn't there. Well, actually, so there's a scene that I've already written during which the Shadows are evacuating Forsaken citizens from Orgrimmar, because at this point in the story, they're being persecuted. And they're being evacuated back to Lordaeron by the same ship and ship captain. So one of the things that happens in that story is they're kind of late to their extraction because they're being hunted, basically. And so... Screaming at me. Oh. And so that would actually be a cool thing to do would be to highlight their delay in arriving to that extraction by making them completely 100% like by the second coordinated with their extraction from Silvermoon. And just that way it kind of adds to the situation later in the story. So that's what we'll do. They will extract with a high precision extraction. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, they're extracting to the ocean. We know that. Let me see the map here. So they got dropped off here. No, they didn't. Or did they? Yeah, they got dropped off here. They They snuck into Silvermoon. Hmm. Maybe they climb to the top of this tower and do something. Hmm. Okay, so yeah, actually, I'm looking at this map. Blizzard's got some explaining to do. So if this is a globe, over here is the Forbidding Sea, but then over here is the Veiled Sea. So, what up? These two should be connected around the backside, but they're not. What up with that? There's more continents that are not shown on here. There needs to be a continent where it borders both these seas. Sorry, that's beside the point, but I've never noticed that before. Okay, so back to here. Geography. I want them to escape. What are we going to do here? I think I need to go back to Silvermoon. I need reference material. Ah. What is happening? The crappy part about this zone is you cannot fly. Again, I'm totally shocked that there's not more people hanging out around here. All right, so I think this is the direction I want to go here. Man, there's a door there. The bazaar. So what I'm looking for is a reference for the rest of the scene here. How do the shadows escape? I'm not feeling it here. I don't want to deal with the ruins. Although it might help outline Erlana's character as being really familiar with the city if I did. Again, their extraction needs to be precise, so finding the right place for this is tricky. Well, there's a portal actually in Silvermoon. Maybe they don't escape at all, they just teleport out. Maybe. That would make sense if we did that. I don't think I've ever been here. Yeah, I think the portal makes the most sense, actually. They need to redo this zone. It's so lazy. It was cool while it lasted, but... Is this like a backdoor entrance to Silvermoon I didn't know about? This might be the end of the road here. Yeah, okay. All right, cool. So that's what we'll do. We'll do the portal room instead. There's no... I wanted them to get back on the ship, though. That's the problem. I'll have to figure that out a little bit more here. The portal room is right here. So... the prison... I think the prison's over here. Ranger's Lodge, not quite. What are these guys doing standing around by themselves? What is this? This looks like a jail. Yeah, okay. This looks like a legit jail. Blood Knights, yeah. Got a weird cube thing. Okay. What does this do? What is this thing, people? Okay, so this is good scenery. This is what I want the jail to be described as. So this is just great. Okay. And then they rush up the stairs. And the guards cut them off. Okay, so here we go. Okay. Where did they make it to? We're in the Court of the Sun. Okay, and then that portal takes you straight to the Undercity, actually. Don't know why it's here unless it's like just hidden here. That's the Orb of Translocation. And we're here. Cool. Howling Ford, really good to know. Interesting. And Stranglethorn. Ah, okay. Here's the portals that they moved around. You got to know how to get around this game quickly sometimes. What does the Undercity even look like right now? Can you even get in there? So this is the Lordaeron. This is the city that these guys all live in. Oh, do the doors not work? Damn. This was the coolest city in the game, and they had to destroy it, of course. This is where Arthas killed his father, right there. His crown fell off and took his crown. Arthas is the Lich King from Wrath of the Lich King in Warcraft 3, Frozen Throne. Green slime. Awesome. All right, well, that's the hour. I made really good progress, I think, on Act 3. I feel really good about it. Things really pick up speed going into Part 2. And what I need to do, because, I mean, Act 1 is just, it introduces the main characters, it introduces the villain, even though you don't know he's the villain. and it introduces the shadows, how they function, Sal's relationship with them, and how he joined this unit of Forsaken as a Tauren. Yeah. The story really starts in part 2. Part 1 is establishing some necessary context. But with that being said, I do this Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 Eastern Standard Time, so I appreciate you joining me in writing, and I hope you're making good progress on your story. I'll be on tomorrow, 8 o'clock, same time, and I hope to see you then. Bye-bye. Bye.